minus 9 minutes. Minus 8 minutes. Minus 7 minutes. Minus 6 minutes. Minus 5 minutes. T-minus 2 minutes. T-minus 1 minute. Stand by.
How about that?
Well, hello, everybody. Welcome to the RP Show on a, what is it, Thursday? Coming at you on the Game Plus Television Network. RP here in moments. Kevin the Medium going to be joining us from the Hughes Sports Podcast, and another special guest making his RP Show debut, New York Yankees broadcaster Rickie Ricardo, in a partnership with DraftKings. So I can tell you that it's going to be a whole lot of fun and a whole lot of shaking going on. All right, let's bring in Kevin the Medium here. Hey, Kev, I don't know if I told you or not, but I'm broadcasting. It probably makes no difference to you. A little bit of a different setup for me, so I'm kind of out of my comfort zone here. I'm sure you'll be fine with it. However, how are things in your neck of the woods and part of the world today?
Well, except for the fact that we're getting another snowstorm here in Maple Creek. Life is good, and I'm supposed to drive to Swift Current right after this show. I don't know.
Okay, well, God bless you and safe travels and all the rest. But let's have some fun, as I say. Where's my kazoo? Here it is. Okay, Kev, you know what we do every day? We do the quick six, the warm-up show topics for Neil Chark, Uniglobe Carefree Travel. Listen, I'm going to open with the NHL last night. There was only 2 games. I went 1 of 2 with my picks. Dakota Joshua had a goal and an assist as the Leafs topped the Rangers 4-3. New York is officially eliminated from playoff contention. The game I watched, Pavel Zacha scored 38 seconds into overtime. David Pasternak had a goal and 2 assists, and Boston rallied for a 4-3 victory over Atlantic Division leading Buffalo. That was on TNT, and I loved it. But I'm going to be honest, what I'm all excited about is here in Florida tonight, it's 90s night as the Florida Panthers welcome the Minnesota Wild. Dude, it's all I can think about is the 90s. And when I was leaving the press box the other night, the Panthers, they gave me this pennant. Hang on. All fans in attendance tonight, all 19,500 are going to get one of these 90s pennants from the Florida Panthers. And they're like, we'd like to see some 90s content from you. And I'm like, what would that even be? So I dug up an old photo. I love the 90s, Kev. I'm not saying I love the 80s more, but I love the 90s. What do you think of when you think of the 90s?
Well, you had asked me that, and I'm like, what happened to me in the 90s? It seems to be a blur. Then I went, well, duh. I got married. I had 2 kids. So, of course, it's a blur, the 90s. But it's
supposed to be.
You showed me that pennant, and I had a flashback to my old bedroom when I was a kid, and I probably had 50 of those in my bedroom on my wall. of different places. People would buy them for me, and it was like my hats. It was just one of those things. As a kid, you always got a pennant, no matter where you went.
Well, I could sit here and talk about this for hours because it's for a lot of reasons. I got a lot of topics coming out of this. We'll get to all the rest, but every other show is talking about all the same things. You know, for us here tonight at this Panthers game, they're going to be playing 90s music. So that's the same for everybody. Carlos in Indiana writes in, he goes, for me, the 90s was childhood. Listen, I was born in the 70s. The 80s are my jam. I mean, come on. Bon Jovi, Def Leppard. Come on. And I'm a country guy. But
I was going to
90s
say.
were awesome too. I know, but it was, I don't know. It was just so, see, I'm drifting off camera here. It's my thing. So I don't even know where the hell to line up, but it's all good. But anyways, that's what I was thinking about, because a lot of people say that the 90s sucked. And I'm like, no, they didn't. Seinfeld, Fraser Crane, double-breasted suits, New Kids on the Block, turtlenecks and chains. Like, dude, I can't wait for the hockey game tonight. It's when I say these things, and by the way, we're going to get to CFL because there's some CFL news to get to, some distinct CFL news. CFL they don't like to talk about the 90s, which it was pretty great for you BC Lions. You're wearing the jersey.
Yeah, that's my new jersey. That's you can't see it. That's number 12. I just got it. Just ordered it.
Who's number 12?
Mr. Nathan Rourke.
I'm teasing. I'm teasing you. You know that I'm teasing.
And he got me. That's the worst. It was like, how do you not know that?
Oh. Listen, I said we were going to have fun today. I hope I'm looking in the wrong camera. Okay, I said we're going to have fun tonight.
Here we go.
Jason in Red Deer writes in and he goes, "How are you going to dress tonight, Rod?" Spoiler alert, I'm going to dress how I always dress, because the other night I went down for the Kraken warm-up Tuesday night, and I'm sitting there taking photos, and this young kid says to me, "Kevin, as God is my witness," he's like, and remember, it's Florida. He's like, "Bro, your suit is fly." I'm like, "What?" He goes, "Your suit is so cool." And I'm like, "Kid, this suit is older than you." But do you get to the point, Kev, that your clothes are so old they come back in style? That's kind of where I'm at right now.
Yeah. You know what? That's not a bad thing. And the fact that you could still wear a suit that's older than that kid is pretty damn good.
Oh my God. Well, yeah. Okay. Well, I got to be careful because I'm really getting into this Florida lingo, man. And I was at the old studio where I used to host the show. And I'm looking at the wrong camera again. And I was talking to the gal Yvonne behind the counter, and I'm like, "What are we burning now a month here?" And she's like, "Excuse me? What's the burn rate?" I mean, that's not just a Florida thing, but I'm like, what are they burning here for rent for these studios in this bunch? Oh, I'm sorry, I'm not up to date on your lingo. So anyways, I just want to ask the viewers, what thoughts come to mind for the 90s for you? I mean, honestly, listen, you're a huge CFL guy. That 94 Grey Cup, it never ever gets mentioned as one of the greatest Grey Cups of all time, Kev, but it should, because it was.
Yes. Wasn't that the picture there? Is that not 94 where he kicked
You're the Lions fan.
Where he kicked the field goal, if my memory serves me correct? But yeah, the 90s, if I go back and I think about it, 94, the Canucks doing their run. Right. We took the Rangers? Islanders. No, Islanders swept us. Rangers, we took the game 7. And then BC winning. I mean, that was good times. We loved it. It's been downhill since.
No, I know. Well, just the other night, because the gal said from the Panthers PR staff, she's like, "Let's see some 90s content. We'll see you at third." Because you know me, one day at a time. I was not thinking about it until today. And now I'm getting all geeked up. And Darren in Utah writes in, he goes, "Seinfeld, Frasier, boy bands, and mullets." Jeff, the Stamps fan, says, "That's right. Double-breasted and loose-fitting is coming back in style." That's perfect for guys like us, Kev. Yeah. Oh, and Jeff, the Stamps fan, also says, "Didn't Lule wear number 12 too?" There you go. They should have retired. He wore 12, right? Travis Lule? We got to get him on the show here.
Yeah, I think he did. I think you're right.
One of the greatest guys the CFL's ever seen. So, anyways, we're having fun on this Thursday, and we'll be right back here on Game Plus Television.
This is a test pattern. This is what happens when your video company screws up. You don't want your clients to see a screw-up. Hire a company that only does video, so it won't screw up. Then, people who give you money will see less of these and more of you. Skycron.com/live.
Looking for a new ride without the big city pressure? Come to Western Dodge in Moose Jaw, where you'll find an unbeatable lineup of Ram trucks, Jeep SUVs, Dodge Muscle, and Chrysler family rides. With knowledgeable staff, great prices, and that friendly Moose Jaw touch, you'll drive away with confidence. Western Dodge, big selection, small town service. Visit us today or browse online at westerndodge.ca.
Do you worry about how much someone drinks?
Do you feel angry or depressed most of the time? Do you feel neglected or unloved?
Do you feel that if the drinker loved you, she or he would stop drinking?
If you answered yes to any of these questions, you are not alone.
Not everyone trapped by alcohol is an alcoholic.
Families and friends are suffering too.
Al-Anon and
Alateen can help. Call 1-866-200-0223 or visit alanon.org/help.
Hold on tight, Moose Jaw. Professional bull riding is back. PBR Canada charges into the Temple Garden Centre April 25th. See the toughest riders take on the rankest bulls in a night of non-stop, edgier seat action. Whether you're a diehard fan or brand new to PBR, this is one show you don't want to miss. Tickets are on sale now at sastix.ca or at the box office. But don't wait, they'll sell fast. Professional Bull Riding Canada in Moose Jaw.
Proudly presented by Papikassis Developments Limited.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
Ultimate Fan Zone, taking our show on the road coast to coast. Shop online, ultimatefanzone.ca. Slick, user-friendly. We built this site for the die-hard sports fans. Jerseys, hats, team apparel, offering officially licensed fan gear from the best lines in sports. Nike, New Era, Adidas, Fanatics. Game day ready to your door. Now, just a click away. ultimatefanzone.ca or check us out on Facebook and Instagram. UFZ Downtown Moose Jaw, home of everything authentic.
21-time nominated Grammy Award winner Dwight Yoakam. Live in concert. June 24th, 7 p.m., Temple Garden Center. Dwight Yoakam. On sale now at sasktix.ca. Dwight Yoakam Live.
All right, welcome back, everybody. As I said, we were going to have fun. It's the warm-up brought to you by our friend Neil Chark of Uniglobe Carefree Travel, the official travel partner of the RP Show. Calling all Canadian sports fans, join Uniglobe Carefree's own Neil Chark for an action-packed weekend in Toronto, August 14th to the 17th, staying right in the heart of Toronto. This unbeatable package includes round-trip flights, 3 nights accommodation, plus 3 exciting major Canadian sporting events. 2 MLB games, Toronto and New York, followed up by Sask at Hamilton on the Sunday in the CFL. An easy, fun, and stress-free way to experience the best of Canadian sports all in one unforgettable weekend. Connect with Neil. His numbers are on the screen. He is the official travel provider of the BC Lions. And Kevin, you would like to make a correction to the Travis Lulay thing we talked about prior to the break.
Yeah, I kind of hesitated when I said, yeah, he wore 12. And then my brain went, no, he didn't. I have a jersey in my closet. He wore number 14.
Okay. So at least you have it. You got it right. So yeah. So there's something that Kevin wanted to talk about, and I'm going to get to that right away. But it is, well, it's related to sports, but not what's hot. So a couple things that I want to just mention. Point two of the quick six show topics. Aaron Judge went hitless on opening day for the first time and struck out 4 times for the first time since September of 2024, but the Yankees still produced plenty of offense on opening day in Major League Baseball. New York beat San Francisco 7-0 in the debut of Giants manager Tony Vitello. We will have Rickie Ricardo, Yankees broadcaster, coming up in hour 2. And John in Edmonton yesterday wrote in and said, he said, what do you think of the game being on Netflix? I'm like, I don't think anything about it. But now that I watched the game, I have thoughts of the Netflix broadcast, and it was pretty good and very innovative. So we will get to that later on once Kevin adjourns. And we're also going to get to the breaking news from the Canadian Football League. It's not breaking. It happened last night. But Corey Mace has been named the CFL's Coach of the Year, which we all know he would be. The 40-year-old from Port Moody, BC, earned the honor after guiding the Roughriders to a 25-17 victory over Montreal in the Coupe de Grey. Riders also won the inaugural Ted Gavaya Award for Best Football Operations Department. Kev, just before we jump into that Rider talk in CFL, Wayne in BC wrote in about yesterday's interview with Janice Taylor. Everybody's still raving about the interview. Everybody's raving about Janice. Yes, she's very, very special. And Wayne writes and he says, I love what Janice is talking about. I think it makes sense to me what she's saying about emotional and mental health and how it works in sports. And you said you had some thoughts on that.
Holy cow. I finally got a chance to listen to that interview. You had posted it after, and I thank you for that. When I get the goosebumps, when I say I get goosebumps, that's my spiritual side coming out. And when she started talking about what she's doing, I get so many goosebumps. It was insane because we always talk about having to deal with people once they crash. And It's like, why not try to fix it before? Just like, why not, instead of giving someone medication to fix something, let's prevent them from getting it. What a great idea. And when she talked, it was just like, she was literally talking to my soul. And I was like, this needs to be in every high school. This needs to be in every college and in every pro team. It's like, to me, it was so common sense. Deal with it here. And then I went down the rabbit hole, which I didn't tell you. We actually started doing some research on what it is she's actually doing. And I'm like, I'm on board. Like, where do I sign up?
Yeah, a lot of people said that after yesterday's show. Wilson 4Q is her company. She's a tech startup founder and CEO and just an overall winner, Janice Taylor.
Yes.
So she'll be back for part 3. Everybody loves the interviews. Thank you for mentioning that. So what we were talking about today, I mentioned the MLB. I'll get to more of that later. And Yankees broadcaster Rickie Ricardo coming up in hour 2. NHL last night from 2 games. The Rangers were officially eliminated. That's not even news. I'm saying tonight it's 90s night here with the Panthers and the Minnesota Wild. I'm asking people what you remember of the 90s. Bill writes in from Toronto. He says the 90s are a bit of a blur. Then you were doing it right, Bill. Then you were doing it right. So anyways, I'll get to more of those questions in a moment. But again, you're a football guy. Tomorrow is a Football Friday, but it's in the news. And this is the Canadian hour of the show. And Saskatchewan is our #1 region for viewership. So let's ring the bell for Corey Mace, the CFL Coach of the Year, and the inaugural Ted Gavaya Award winners. Roughriders winning it for the best football operations department in the entire Canadian Football League, as voted on by the other teams. What did you think when you saw that, Kev?
I like it. And I love the fact that the CFL is making a production out of this, which is kind of cool. Yes, they have their awards nights during Grey Cup week, but this was cool. This was something they can build on now, I think. Do I agree with Saskatchewan winning everything? Probably not. I'm a Lions fan. I think the Lions organization is doing wonderful things. But that's not what I'm trying to get at is good on the CFL. Like they're making an effort to do things. And I saw something else that was happening in Hamilton with the flag football in the CFL. I'm going to have to go down that rabbit hole later, but it looks like they're turning a corner and they're starting to, what's that word? Promote the league.
Oh my God. Don't start now. All the things that I've been complaining and whining about for years, they're actually doing. And this is one, like the Ted Gavaya Award is basically for the best general manager in the league. The NHL has that. The NFL has that. The CFL, they're like, no, we can't recognize just one guy. Let's recognize the whole department, which is kind of what it is. And
Yes.
it's in my commentary today at rodpedersen.com. Kev, if this goes every year, the coach of the year and the football ops staff of the year to the team that wins the Grey Cup, I'll be okay with that because we've gotten so far away in sports and life and broadcasting of giving people awards and appointments because of merit that they've earned. The Riders earned these awards. Sorry to say, if you don't like it, that's the truth.
Well, and you can disagree with who won the award, but yeah, the team had to earn this award. It's not a participation medal like we see so many times all over society nowadays. So it is. It's nice to see. My only worry now that Corey Mace won the Coach of the Year, does he get fired next year? Isn't that the way it usually works?
You just got to win, baby. You just got to win. Listen, we've had that talk as the Rider guy. Oh, I feel like I was on the phone with Scruffy talking about this a while back. He's like, oh, he'll have the job for 5 years after. No, it's proven. No. It's a year and a half. A year and a half, largely. Like John Gregory won the Grey Cup in 1989, was fired August of 1991. Corey Chamberlain won the Grey Cup in 2013, fired in September, Labor Day, just before Labor Day. So it's a year and a half of 2015. So that's what, I mean, we're not talking about Corey Mace getting fired, but he's from Port Moody. We got a lot of viewers, Kev, as you know, in the Lower Mainland. I don't believe I've been to Port Moody. Tell me about Port. I'm sure you have. You're from there. What's Port Moody
Port
like?
Moody's like, I grew up in my teen years in Port Coquitlam. So it's Port Moody, Port Coquitlam. They're right beside each other. Then you move into Maple Ridge, Coquitlam. Yeah, it's literally right in my hometown. I spent many a night in Port Moody.
Cool. I love it. I don't have my hammer, so I'll just have
there
to
might even been
this.
There might have even been a gentleman's club where you would go to in Port Moody.
Okay, hang on. Okay. Are we off the rails here or what? But that's okay. That's okay. The reason I say that is two things. The poll question today for EMJ Marketing is, what should be the Las Vegas NBA expansion team name? And we had a lot of wonderful suggestions from our viewers here the other day. But I whittled it down to 3. The Las Vegas Secrets, it's kind of what you're talking about. 2, the Vultures. 3, the Lights, like Vegas Lights. It's not as dumb as you. Who would have thought Stars would be a great, or other. And leading the poll is Secrets. So that's one thing. 2, there's a photo circulating around South Florida today of the Elbow Room last night. It's like the home bar of the Florida Panthers. It's where they go. Did you have that in Vancouver back in the day where the Canucks and the Lions went? Kev? Everybody knew that's where they went?
Well, I think you probably have been to that place, number 5 Orange.
No, never been there.
No.
The big one was always the Roxy.
Roxy was another one, yes.
Triggered. But anyways, somehow or another, last night, somebody took the surveillance photo from the Elbow Room. It's nothing bad, but there was 3 or 4 Minnesota Wild, including Quinn Hughes, Matthew Tkachuk, and Mark Cuban at a table at the Elbow Room, like outside. It's right on Fort Lauderdale Boulevard. And there's like, what an eclectic, like, what's Mark Cuban doing? I don't know if you've seen this or not, but I'm looking at it going, I just get tired looking at that photo because you know what's going on. You know what I mean?
They might have been drinking a few pops and discussing world politics.
Yeah, I'll say this thing about Matthew Tkachuk. I don't know where the kid has the time. I don't know where he has the time. He was up at the Tiger Golf League the other night. He was playing on Tuesday. Last night he's at the Elbow Room with Mark Cuban. Him and his fiance are having a baby. I'm like, where do you have the time, kid? Have you cloned yourself? Anyways, so that's something that's going on around South Florida. Oh, Carlos in Indiana writes in, he goes, "Let's go Secrets." Let's go Vultures. I'm just saying, of all the names, I don't think there will be a gambling connotation to this Las Vegas team. Do you? I mean, I'm not saying there won't be. The WNBA team's called the Aces, but I just don't think that's a path the NBA wants to go down.
No, I mean, the NHL didn't want to go down that path either, and they went with the Knights. What's the football team? Just the Raiders.
Yeah.
I don't know if I like any of those names. I was like, when I read it, I chose other because none of them hit me. But then when you said Vegas Lights, I went, oh, that wouldn't be bad.
Well, it won't be the Secrets, but I kind of like the Secrets. Kirk in Toronto writes in, he goes, "Hey, Rod, the Las Vegas Blackjacks. Look, that's the name of the Ottawa team in the CEBL. Like, I'm, again, not against it. I just don't see the NBA going down that road." To quote our friend Lee Genier, that's not a road you want to go down, Rod. We were talking about something else, but you get it. John writes in, he says, "What was that bar on South Albert Street the Rough Riders used to go to in the late 80s, Rod?" I don't know, because I wasn't old enough. I can finally say I wasn't old enough. I don't know. I think it was called the Gold. I've heard all these stories. The old Gold. The Gold is where the Rough Riders used to populate back in the day, but it was before my time. And back when it was my time, they were wherever I was, but it was usually the Pump. Okay, if people want to keep writing in with Vegas team names, there's few things that get people going as much as expansion team names. They love talking about it. And expansion itself. John Ohm says the Las Vegas Spirit. Also the Las Vegas Adventures. Jeff, the Stamps fan, says the Silver Knights. No, the problem with that is there is already a team there called the Silver Knights. It's the Golden Knights American Hockey League team. To be honest, viewer Jason suggested the Vegas Bronze Knights. And I'm like, to be honest, it's not that completely out of line, but I don't think that they would want to be seen as third tier.
I was going to say, you're going to make yourself automatically on the bottom? Come on. No. It's got to be something totally away from any other name. I don't mind the Blackjacks if they wanted to go down that path.
Yeah. Well, we'll see what they do. I mean, they just yesterday, NBA governors voted to take the next step to putting teams in Las Vegas and Seattle. So anyways, 902-518-3033 is the text line. We got a lot of things on the table today. What do you remember about the 90s? What, if anything, what's your favorite thing about the 90s? Because it's 90s night here for the Florida Panthers and the Minnesota Wild. It's going to be big fun. And we'll be right back. You're watching the RP Show on the Game Plus Television Network, YouTube Live, podcast, and WQVZ Radio.
Ultimate Fan Zone, taking our show on the road coast to coast. Shop online, ultimatefanzone.ca. Slick, user-friendly, we built this site for the die-hard sports fans. Jerseys, hats, team apparel, offering officially licensed fan gear from the best lines in sports. Nike, New Era, Adidas, Fanatics, game day ready to your door. Now, just a click away, ultimatefanzone.ca, or check us out on Facebook and Instagram. UFZ Downtown Moose Jaw, home of everything authentic.
Hold on tight, Moose Jaw. Professional bull riding is back. PBR Canada charges into the Temple Garden Center April 25th. See the toughest riders take on the rankest bulls in a night of non-stop edgier seat action. Whether you're a diehard fan or brand new to PBR, this is one show you don't want to miss. Tickets are on sale now at sastix.ca or at the box office. But don't wait, they'll sell fast. Professional Bull Riding Canada in Moose Jaw.
Proudly presented by Pedersen Developments Limited.
You have a vision, a big idea. But how do you turn ambition into absolute impact? It starts with connection. Booking top-tier speakers and executing seamless events. That's the EMJ difference. We position your brand where it belongs, Guy.
through powerful advertising, strategic media, and promotion that drives results. At EMJ Marketing, we don't just promote your effort, we partner. Your growth, our mission.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
Hiring a video company shouldn't be complicated. Click, pay, done. Skycron.com/Regina. This is a test pattern. This is what happens when your video company screws up. You don't want your clients to see a screw up. Hire a company that only does video, so it won't screw up. Then, people who give you money will see less of these and more of you. Skycron.com/live.
Sports fans, daytime sports talk gets a whole lot better weekdays at noon Eastern with The Rod Pedersen Show. Talking sports daily with A-list guests, and the best part is, you can always join the discussion as we're the most interactive talk show on television. Broadcasting from coast to coast from the biggest events like Super Bowl, Stanley Cup Final, Grey Cup, and more, there's nothing like it in the game today. The Rod Pedersen Show, daily at noon Eastern and 10 p.m. Pacific on Game Plus Network.
All right, welcome back, everybody. We do the Junior Hockey Report every day. The WHL playoffs get going this weekend. For the very best preview, go to rodpedersen.com and read Glenn Erickson's 10 WHL playoff things. Brought to you in part by the Mad Greek Eatery. Are you craving the famous Greek ribs everyone is talking about, especially in Moose Jaw? Get yours today at the Mad Greek Eatery, downtown Moose Jaw. Kevin the Medium is with us. Kev, the floor is yours. I got topics coming out the kazoo, but where's your head at today? What would you like to discuss at this point in time? Because I can continue to stare at myself.
Well, I'm disappointed that I'm not up in Edmonton at the CFL Combine. I had to do some adulting, as I called it, and make some decisions. And so here I am stuck in snowy Maple Creek. And I'm like, dang, what's happening up in the CFL Combine? I wish there was a way we could watch it. Maybe they should have a streaming service where they could actually put it on.
Who knows? Well, they used to stream it. I don't know. For those that are going, I'm sure that they'll enjoy it. But as you got busy with your business, which, by the way, is Kevin the Medium channeling. That's what he does. And I was watching your show last night where you and your co-host / son, Jake, were talking about you. You didn't know that I was watching. I'm that guy.
You're lurker.
Some like to call it stalking. I call it research. Anyways, 902-518-3033. 90s night here tonight for the Florida Panthers and Minnesota Wild. And Tony writes in from the Bridge City, and he says, "G'day, Rod and squad. The 90s to me brought us some of the greatest country music ever made. George Strait, Garth Brooks, Reba, Vince Gill, Alan Jackson, Terry Clark, and many others. Even George Jones was still making great music. Great times," signed Tony from Bridge City. I was talking to a guy from my hometown last summer, Kev. He goes, "Is it true that you and Terry Clark used to have a fling?" I'm like, "I wish." Keep that rumor going. Yeah, it's not true, but sure. As far as you know, sure. Yeah. Bob in Medicine Hat, speaking of Terry Clark, writes in and says, "Hey, Rod, it's Bob from the Gas City. By the way, I looked you up last night, Bob. You're liking all our Facebook posts. You're far younger looking than I thought you would be, Bob." From Medicine Hat. He says, the Gas City got lots of snow here. Go Rough Riders, go. Have a great day, guys. Jim in Belgoni writes in and he says, Rod will be busting out the parachute pants and rolling in the 5.0 tonight with mullet flowing. Sounds like an awesome night. It's going to be great at 90s night tonight. It's especially for people of the vintage. Kev, do you ever think, like your son, for instance, what year was he born in?
92.
Ah, okay. I thought he was younger than that. Like when the Panthers were telling the media the other night that they're like, we'd like to see some 90s content out of you guys. Most of them grown. They're like, we weren't even born before 2000. And I'm like, not your fault. But it kind of sucks. You're at that point. I know that you are, where it's like you guys missed out on some. I don't envy them.
No, not at all. I mean, we grew up in a time where we didn't have to worry about there was a camera on us taking a picture when we were at a bar having a beer. Like, we could do whatever we wanted, and we didn't worry about that stuff. Nowadays, especially athletes, holy crap, they're under a microscope. It's scary.
Well, I will tell you, it goes back to what Janice was talking about yesterday. Everybody thinks that it's all on the mound or in the crease or on the field, and so much of it's off. I mean, come on. I mean, it was funny how many people would just seem so, their minds were blown by what she was saying yesterday. And it's not their fault, nor is it hers. It's just, I deal in it every day. You dabble in it a little bit. I'm talking about the sports side of it. And I guess if you didn't know and you weren't in it every day, you wouldn't know. You wouldn't, you just wouldn't know. So
it's always after the fact that we're hearing about it. Oh, so-and-so had a breakdown and he can't throw the ball anymore. Or, what's going on with EP40? He can't play the way he was playing. Is it psychology? What is it? Well, maybe there's some emotional shit he's dealing with from all the toxicity that he went through. That makes way more sense.
And goes through. But I'll say another thing too, by the way. I mean, I don't have any idea where this is going. None of us do. Not this conversation. I know where that's going because I'm in control of it, but I'm not in control of anything outside these walls. And my point is, these young reporters were talking about, I don't want to out them, but they were just talking about certain MLB players that have never won a championship. And it's like, oh, well, he's happy because he's getting paid, or he's happy because he hit a home run. And it's like, guys, no, but they didn't win. Like you're seeing now that generation where to them winning doesn't matter, because why would it matter? I'm going to get a trophy anyways. Why would I try hard? Because I'm going to get passed in school. So why would I strive for more? I don't know where I don't know where that's going.
I don't even want to think about where that's going, because hopefully somehow everything does a 360 and we get back to rewarding excellence. Because that's what we should be doing.
I shouldn't be laughing. If I'm not laughing, I'm crying. I was watching a Larry the Cable Guy special the other night. Did I tell you about this on Amazon Prime? No. It's his latest. He was always funny, but now he's a senior citizen. How funny do you think that is? I almost warned you when you took that sip of coffee. But he's like, who does the job interviews at Walmart? Can you imagine the interviews? Have you ever cared about anything in your life? No. You're hired.
It's just... I still can't go over the fact that you called Larry the Cable Guy a senior. And I was like, oh, I guess he is.
He's so funny. He was always funny. Now he's just outright hilarious, like even more funny. Anyways, 902-518-3033. The viewers are really loving the Las Vegas team name ideas. And the reason we're not talking about Seattle's team name is because they're going to be called the Supersonics. I mean, Kev, you're from Vancouver. I mean, the Grizzlies, tell me, do you look at that era and just go, were they even here? You know,
it was such a flash in the pan. I can't even remember how long they were there, but now it was like, and they were gone.
Yeah. So the Supersonics, though, I mean, when they come back, which the team's coming back, they got to be called the Supersonics, right?
Oh, yeah. I mean, if they're called anything else, they're missing the boat. It has to be the Supersonics. It's an iconic name. I mean, they were the team in my era growing up. You got a Supersonics jersey. You were fly, as your buddy who said your suit. You were fly if you had the Supersonics jersey.
I couldn't believe that kid last night. That was some. Your suit is fly, bro. What? Okay, man. They have their own total lingo down here, man. I remember years ago when I came to cover a Rough Rider camp, I held the door open for a server in a restaurant, and he was like, "You're mad, bro." And I'm like, "No, I'm not. I'm actually quite happy." Now I realize what that is happy. If you're
That is
mad
happy.
here, that means you're happy. Oh, okay, got it. Just think the opposite. On the team names, which we can continue after the break once Kevin adjourns. Bo is watching in the Bridge City. He says the Lights name kind of hits nice for both fandom and commentary. Vegas turns the lights on or turns the lights out. The Vegas Lights. We're not immediately discounting that. Darren in Utah writes that he says, I think there was a soccer team called the Lights in Las Vegas already. Well, that would suck. That would really suck. But we're just sitting here spitballing. Oh, and by the way, what do we love the most of the 90s? John in Winnipeg says grunge music of the 90s. Oh, that's speaking of Seattle. Did you ever get down to Seattle in the 90s?
In the 90s, no. Again, I got married, had kids. The 80s, we went down to Seattle a lot. And even into the late 70s, my brothers used to have to take me with them because they'd want to go down to Seattle to SIR, Seattle International Raceway, to watch the drag racing. And the only way Mom would let them go is if they took kid brother with them. So went down a lot back then.
Okay, cool. Well, I feel like Seattle's a great town now, but in the 90s, it really rocked. And they're getting the NBA back, and we'll think it'll be called the Supersonics. Vegas is, of course, always rocked. And that's the poll question today. What should be their team name? Leading the poll, by the way, is other. So I don't think it's going to be one of the secrets, which is what I voted for. The Vultures, the Lights, or other. We'll see. Okay, a hell of a lot more football because there is a lot of football to get to tomorrow with Kev and Football Friday. Until then, Kev, keep rocking it.
See you tomorrow,
We'll be right back here on Game Plus TV.
Sports fans, daytime sports talk gets a whole lot better weekdays at noon Eastern with The Rod Pedersen Show. Talking sports daily with A-list guests, and the best part is you can always join the discussion as we're the most interactive talk show on television. Broadcasting from coast to coast from the biggest events like Super Bowl, Stanley Cup Final, Grey Cup, and more. There's nothing like it in the game today. The Rod Pedersen Show, daily at noon Eastern and 10 p.m. Pacific on Game Plus Network.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
Sports fans, daytime sports talk gets a whole lot better weekdays at noon Eastern with The Rod Pedersen Show. Talking sports daily with A-list guests, and the best part is you can always join the discussion as we're the most interactive talk show on television. Broadcasting from coast to coast from the biggest events like Super Bowl, Stanley Cup Final, Grey Cup, and more. There's nothing like it in the game today. The Rod Pedersen Show, daily at noon Eastern and 10 p.m. Pacific on Game Plus Network.
This is a test pattern. This is what happens when your video company screws up. You don't want your clients to see a screw-up. Hire a company that only does video, so it won't screw up. Then, people who give you money will see less of these and more of you. Skycron.com/live.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest-growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
You have a vision, a big idea. But how do you turn ambition into absolute impact? It starts with connection. Booking top-tier speakers and executing seamless events. That's the EMJ difference. We position your brand where it belongs, Guy, through powerful advertising, strategic media, and promotion that drives results. At EMJ Marketing, we don't just promote, we partner. Your growth, our mission.
Hiring a video company shouldn't be complicated. Click, pay, done. Skycron.com/Regina.
All right, welcome back, everybody. Be honest. Can you see that there's a slight change to the broadcast today? I should quit talking about it because I don't think you can notice. But anyways, I got to do things a little differently than I normally do here today, so bear with me. But I think we're doing just fine. And thanks to Kevin, the medium, for his efforts. I mean, it's not a football Friday. Tomorrow we will get far more into whatever football talk. I should mention, by the way, I don't want to jinx this. This is a preparation for you. I'll be hosting hour 1 tomorrow with Kev, and then the Moose is going to slide in and host hour 2 because I got to get out. I'm heading to New York for the weekend. The Florida Panthers are there for a couple of games, and with the lineups at the airport and everything, I had to get out of here a little early. So I don't know if you've been following the news or not. There's another travel snafu in the USA. I believe that Mike Davis of the Vegas Nighthawks will be with us. Man, it's amazing the Vegas synergy here, is there not? In terms of the poll question today is, what should the Las Vegas team name be for the NBA? And actually, we got some really good really good suggestions. Laverne in the Frontier City writes in, he says, the Las Vegas Dice. That might pass the anti-gambling check. I don't know. I mean, I kind of hope it'll have a gambling connotation, but I just think the way the NBA is going in sports in general, I don't think they will. David, number 2 in Winnipeg, writes in and he says, the Vegas Voltage. I feel like nothing's to be discounted at this point, but nothing has really hit me yet. And frankly, I like the Las Vegas Secrets team name somebody wrote in, but I mean, that also sounds more like a men's rec hockey team than an NBA team. Anyways, I haven't even got through all of the quick 6 show topics, obviously, because I've been too busy Mickey Mousin with Kevin the Medium. But it's another busy night in the NHL. The Columbus Blue Jackets are in Montreal, while Sidney Crosby and the Pittsburgh Penguins face the Senators in Ottawa. Later, the Winnipeg Jets will host the Colorado Avalanche, and the Calgary Flames entertain the Anaheim Ducks. The game of the night is not 90s night here in Sunrise, where 19,500 fans will receive a free pennant courtesy of the Florida Panthers commemorating 90s night. No, it's in Vegas, and you have to stick with me on this one. We're all going to look at this game and say that it's going to be a playoff preview, because the last I looked, if the playoffs started today, those two teams would meet, the Oilers and the Golden Knights. So it's a gauge, but nothing will be decided tonight. It'll be the biggest thing going until the game's over, okay? And the one team that wins tonight in the Fortress will be thumping their chest, thinking they're great. The other team that loses will be going to work to fix their mistakes for when they meet in the playoffs. It's usually how it always happens. Change my mind. The LA Dodgers kick off their campaign to three-peat as World Series champions today. They'll host the Arizona Diamondbacks in their first game of the regular season. The Blue Jays start their run Friday when they entertain the Athletics in Toronto. Two-time Gold Glove-winning catcher Roberto Perez has announced his retirement. The 37-year-old made his major league debut in 2014 and spent 8 of his 10 seasons with Cleveland. He had a career .207 batting average with 55 dingers and 193 RBIs. Just 3 NBA games on today's slate. The New Orleans Pelicans battle the Eastern Conference leading Pistons in Detroit, and the Charlotte Hornets are in New York. In Orlando, the struggling Sacramento Kings will face the Magic. The Raptors are off after getting thumped 119-94 by the Clippers in LA on Wednesday night. And that is your sports update, proudly brought to you by our friends at Ultimate Fan Zone. Are you looking for the hottest fan gear? Swing by Ultimate Fan Zone Sports Store or shop online at ultimatefanzone.ca, where real fans get their gear. We continue to broadcast on Game Plus TV, but also streaming as well. Let's get some new commenters in here. I mean, I have nothing wrong with our P1s, the regular guys, but it's not a conversation between me and them every single day. Mario in Mission Viejo, California. Hello. It's Larry King of Sports Time right now. Me and you to the top of the hour. John Ohm says Rod has a sunburn out on the golf course. There's 2 chances of that happening, John. Slim and none. But yeah, that's the one thing you've noticed about this setup here today. The lighting is a little different, and I don't have a sunburn. Well, maybe I do. I sure the hell wasn't golfing. It just happens to be come with living in Florida, and we are outside a lot. Lucky us, right? 902-518-3033. We get this from just walking around. Tony shows up. Where you been, Tony? Another Tony from Cochrane. Saw a lady the other night, I'll just say it, in a 12-step meeting. She was wearing a sweatshirt that said Cochrane across it. Here in Boca Raton, Florida. I did not go up and ask her about it, but I will. I'll see her again. Because I had another conversation popping with this other nice lady across the room. But Tony he says, I suggested The Secrets and the Neon, but I love John Ohm's Out All Nights, the Las Vegas Out All Nights. That also sounds like a men's senior team, not a pro franchise, but I get it. I said I would address the comment from John in Edmonton yesterday when he's like, Rod, what are your thoughts on the MLB opening their season on Netflix? And at that time, I didn't have any thoughts. I'm like, oh, okay. Just trying to get through today's show and various other things. And then the Panthers show that we did yesterday afternoon after this. And then, as luck would have it, I think it was 8:06 was the first pitch on Netflix, the Yankees and the Giants. And by the way, New York Yankees broadcaster Rickie Ricardo coming up next hour, presented by DraftKings. This is what I think about it. Now that I had a chance to watch the game on Netflix, I really enjoy what they're doing on Netflix. I enjoy what they're trying to do on Netflix. As a career broadcaster, and I think producer Corey would agree, I don't assume Corey watched the Yankees and the Giants on Netflix last night, but leave it to me. They had the nice panel. They had Albert Pujols, that CC Sabathia in the booth, and Matt Vasgersian. Does anybody remember Matt Vasgersian? He was the first voice of the XFL way back in 2001. But it's San Francisco, Oracle Park, where there's all those fans on the other side of the outfield wall in kayaks and boats waiting for a home run ball. And those sneaky buggers at Netflix, you know what they did? They put a camera in one of the kayaks. So they're interviewing a guy, and the guy's sitting there crushing a beer. He's waiting for the ball. Now, the problem with that was he might as well have been on the North Pole because the transmission wasn't very good. It was all poppy and grainy and stuff. But I'm like, God damn, they're trying something. Similar to, if you recall, Christmas Day last year was their foray into the NFL. And they had the game from Washington. And they brought in via Zoom or however they do it on the broadcast. The Cowboys were playing, remember? Washington. And they brought in Emmitt Smith. So they're interviewing Emmitt Smith in the second quarter from his den like this on an NFL broadcast. That was Netflix. So I like to see the new networks. I like to see the streaming services. I like to see new stuff. And I'm kind of at the point of my life where I'm like, I'm not necessarily excited about being part of it. I just like sitting back watching it. I'm interested to see what the CFL is going to do with their next broadcast deal and all the rest. So the game was not good, by the way. It was like 5-0 New York, 2 innings in. And we'll talk with Rickie Ricardo afterwards. But as we keep talking in this industry about how crowded it's becoming, where golf is playing indoor and getting huge ratings, and flag football was the game from Saturday in LA was aired last night on Fox. I tuned in for a little bit of that. Every league's got to try and find some way to be new and innovative and get you watching. And that's what Netflix did with the MLB last night. I thought it was cool. John in Edmonton writes, and he says, Rod, can the Oilers beat the Vegas Golden Knights tonight? Where were you, John? We just talked about that. Of course they can. They're playing the game. Tonight, however, is not necessarily the game that they need to worry about. The playoff meeting. And Kelly McCrimmon was on this show how long ago? A month ago? They're not necessarily thinking about the playoffs now. They're thinking about tonight's game. I'm trying to think about how I should say this. There's nothing, not hiding anything, but like Kelly said, we want to win every game. And that seems very elementary, right? You are all thinking, whether they want to win every game. Of course they do. They're thinking about tonight's game. But if they don't win, they still have the time to make the corrections. And I haven't made the picks yet. We'll do that next hour. But if I'm picking tonight, I think Vegas will win. I legitimately do. What was I last night? 1 of 2 on picks. I had the Leafs to win. I had the Sabres to win. That was a hell of a hockey game last night, Boston and Buffalo. I was upset, however, because all night on the TV grid, it said that True TV was going to be airing the Leafs and Rangers. I would have rather have watched that, frankly. And then we get to 7 Eastern. They don't have it. But Sabres and Bruins was good, too. I mean, that's where I'm different than a lot of people. Similar to a lot of you, but different to a lot of others in that I'll watch whoever they put on because I'm a hockey fan. Wayne in BC writes in Western Dodge text line 902-518-3033. He says, the CFL definitely got the Coach of the Year and Management Team of the Year awards right last night. Wayne, you can go to rodpeterson.com to get my thoughts on that because I covered it there. But you're right. CFL did get it right. They voted, and the team that won the championship and the best coach. It's the way it should be. And maybe we're getting back to some normalcy in this world. Maybe there's hope for us yet where it's not about appointments. It's the award winners or those that earned it. We'll be back with hour 2 right after this.
Hiring a video company shouldn't be complicated. Click, pay, done. Skycron.com/Regina.
You have a vision, a big idea. But how do you turn ambition into absolute impact? It starts with connection. Booking top-tier speakers and executing seamless events. That's the EMJ difference. We position your brand where it belongs, Guy, through powerful advertising, strategic media, and promotion that drives results. At EMJ Marketing, we don't just promote, we partner. Your growth, our mission.
This is a test pattern. This is what happens when your video company screws up. You don't want your clients to see a screw-up. Hire a company that only does video, so it won't screw up. Then, people who give you money will see less of these and more of you. Skycron.com/live.
You have a vision, a big idea. But how do you turn ambition into absolute impact? It starts with connection. Booking top-tier speakers and executing seamless events. That's the EMJ difference.
We position your brand where it belongs, Guy, through powerful advertising, strategic media, and promotion that drives results. At EMJ Marketing, we don't just promote, we partner. Your growth, our mission.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest-growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
Sports fans, daytime sports talk gets a whole lot better weekdays at noon Eastern with The Rod Pedersen Show. Talking sports daily with A-list guests, and the best part is, you can always join the discussion as we're the most interactive talk show on television. Broadcasting from coast to coast from the biggest events like Super Bowl, Stanley Cup Final, Grey Cup, and more, there's nothing like it in the game today. The Rod Pedersen Show, daily at noon Eastern and 10 p.m. Pacific on Game Plus Network.
Hiring a video company shouldn't be complicated. Click, pay, done. Skycron.com/Regina.
How about that?
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the RP Show, where we do the same thing every day. We're about fun, we're about entertainment, and a lot of other really good things. Broadcasting on the Game Plus television network across Canada and 33 states. And now we welcome in the Nevada viewers on Silver State Sports. It's been a very strong Vegas theme today. Don't adjust your sets. It's a mildly different broadcast setup today. You won't even notice the difference. Only I do. Golden Knights home tonight to the Edmonton Oilers. That is indeed the game of the night. We're having fun, and I will tell you that coming up, our guest today in the guest segment right after this one is Rickie Ricardo, New York Yankees broadcaster. The Yankees are already out of the gate, 1-0 after whitewashing the Giants in San Francisco 7-0 on opening night. Did you watch it on Netflix? I did, and they did a hell of a job. I really enjoyed it, but let's get down to business. Unlike every other show, especially in America, we're opening with hockey. There were only 2 games on Wednesday night in the NHL, and here's what they were. The New York Rangers were officially eliminated from playoff contention. This was just a matter of time. Dakota Joshua had a goal and a helper. I think Joseph Woll had 40 saves. The Leafs beat the Rangers 4-3 at Scotiabank Arena. We got that one right. And then Pavel Zacha scored 38 seconds into overtime. David Pastrnak had a goal and 2 assists. Boston rallied for a 4-3 win over Atlantic Division leading Buffalo. I had that one wrong, but it went to overtime. And usually when you're picking the Sabres, you're right this year in the NHL. But listen, that's so Wednesday. What I'm excited about, and we used to do it more than we do now, but it's still kind of a thing. The big story, everybody's got a different big story. It's a fragmented sports world right now. For me, all I can think about is that it's 90s night tonight for the Florida Panthers. We have the Minnesota Wild in town, and so there's a lot of interesting and fun things to go off this. What we've been talking about for those that have been tuned in for the last hour is, what do you think of when you think of the 90s? And you know the demographic of this show. We owns the demographic of 55 plus across Canada, eating our way into it in Nevada. A lot of our viewers have said, don't really remember the 90s. Perfect. David Bowie said the same thing about the 80s. But as I was leaving the rink the other night, the Panthers staff were walking around handing these to all the media. And they're like, put this out we'd like to see some 90s content from you guys. Half the media wasn't even born before the 90s. And I was still thinking about that wonderful game. It was Paul Maurice's 2000th Tuesday night. I wasn't thinking about tonight. And now I'm thinking about 90s night and a lot of really fun things. Thank you, Bill. It's not a contest when I say there's something different today. You don't need to pick it out. This isn't what's missing when you put two matching photos side by side. Just relax and enjoy the show. You won't even notice the difference. We'll put you to sleep. But these theme nights, and I could talk about this for hours, because I know I'm new to a lot of you, but a lot of you also know that I've been kicking around for decades. So when I used to work for teams, we would sit in the boardroom, like in the spring or summer, as soon as we got the schedule, and plan these theme nights. It was the most fun. I remember sitting with the Warriors staff one time, Al Tour and Lenny Nielsen, when they happened to be, it was the summertime, why I was there, I don't know. But they're like, let's have unemployment night. Everybody can sit in section EI. The fun things come up. And I used to say to them, I wasn't working for them, I was with the rival team, but I used to say to our bosses, I'm like, we should have theme nights every game. And they're like, why? We don't need to have them every game. Well, why not? There's so much fun. So 90s night tonight, I know what's going to happen. This is the old 90s uniform. A lot of people are going to be showing up wearing 90s Florida Panthers gear. They're going to be playing 90s music. And trust me, I will move on from this in a second. And we have NHL picks to get to tonight. There's 3, 6, 9, 12, 13 games in the National Hockey League. We'll get serious in a second. But after a while, because I kept saying, why don't we do this? Why don't we do that? I was told, no, it won't work. And then I got stopped being invited to those meetings. But I distinctly remember late 90s. I'm like, we should have a dance crew. This is with a hockey team. And they're like, well, how would that work? I'm like, well, like cheerleaders, but they would like go up and down the stairs and have pom-poms and dance in between periods on the ice. And they're like, that's creepy. No. Now every team, fast forward 25 years, and every team has a dance. It's lonely sometimes being so far ahead of the pack. But eventually they keep up. That's one thing Ricky Williams told me. I'll get to your comments in a second. The warm-up is brought to you by our friend, Neil Chark. Uniglobe Carefree Travel, the official travel partner of the RP Show, the official travel partner of the BC Lions. And here's the trip that they're offering now, which, by the way, is almost sold out. So if you want to go watch MLB baseball in Toronto, New York and Toronto, this is your opportunity, and a great football game in Hamilton with Saskatchewan at the Tabbies. It's August 14th to the 17th. It's a whole Toronto trip. That's where you're going to stay, right in the heart of downtown Toronto. 3 nights hotels, ground transportation, suppers, all the best stuff. It's an easy, fun, and stress-free way to experience the best of Canadian sports all in one unforgettable weekend. We're just getting going. This is a new association. But I can tell you right now that I love Neil Chark. As he said on the call the other day, I'm a huge CFL fan. So he knows who I am. I worked in the league for 20 years. He's like, let's get this trip sold out. And then let's plan some real fun stuff down into the States and blah, 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 blah. So that's where we're going. So the numbers, they were on the screen. I'll tell you, the website is uniglobecarefreetravel.com. That's the way to get a hold of Neil Chark. And a bucket list item is seeing Toronto play at Rogers Centre. You got to do it. This is your chance to do it, and you can get in a great football game too. Okay. Yes, Jeff, the Stamps fan, the Ricky Williams. Go look it up. When we're done here, look it up. I'll say this. Where I'm from, Western Canada and Saskatchewan, is another world from where I live now. South Florida. As a matter of fact, a pro scout came up to me the other night, just out of the blue, randomly. He goes, so you say you're from Western Canada? Yeah. How's that guy from Western Canada get all the way down to South Florida? How much time you got? But anyways, so when they ask regularly who I have on my show, a lot of times they haven't heard of who the Canadian sports guests are. Rickie Ricardo is our guest coming up next. Voice of the Yankees for DraftKings. But I told him I had Ricky Williams, and everybody, you have Ricky Williams? Nobody gets Ricky Williams. I got Ricky Williams. You can go look it up on YouTube. The interview's there. Why did I get Ricky Williams? Because he was the Longhorns great, Dolphins great, and for former Toronto Argo, he was promoting his new marijuana brand. I don't care if you want to smoke dope, smoke all the dope you want. Rickie explained his story because at the time when he walked away from the NFL, we were all like, who walks away from the NFL? Ricky Williams did. He said why. Gave his reasons. It turns out he's an unbelievably sharp guy. And as we shared more and more, and I'd like to say have a friendship since, I'm like, Ricky, you're so far ahead of your time. He goes, I know. How do you deal with that? He's like, chill out, wait for people to catch up. See what you're learning today? Okay. Point 2. Aaron Judge went hitless on opening day for the first time ever and struck out 4 times for the first time since September 2024, but the Yankees still produced plenty of offense. New York beat San Francisco 7-0 in the debut of Giants manager Tony Vitello on Wednesday. The note that I have written down on that, Netflix did a very nice job of the broadcast. I covered this last hour, but I'll cover it again for those that don't celebrate. There's going to be thousands of baseball games this year. What differentiates one from another? Not much. Max Fried was outstanding last night in the game. It was 5-0 Yankees, like 2 innings in. But Netflix, those innovative buggers, put a camera in the canoe or kayak out in the ocean behind the ballpark where all those fans are waiting for a home run. They're interviewing a guy who's crushing a beer while the game's going on. I'm like, what the hell? This is fantastic. That same John in Edmonton writes, and he says, Rob, the MLB game on Netflix last night wasn't available in Canada, but it was on Sportsnet. Whatever, you saw it. Let's not split hairs here. So if you want to know what I thought, the game wasn't great, but the innovation of Netflix was fantastic. Rickie Ricardo coming up next, the voice of the Yankees. We still have plenty of time in this segment, but I'll tell you, it's brought to you by Prairie Panels. They're a Saskatchewan-based company specializing in high-quality construction panels and engineered building solutions, whether it's for agricultural buildings, shop construction, or commercial projects. Prairie Panels brings innovative, durable products backed by local expertise. Check them out at prairiepanels.ca. If they do as good a work as their website, you'll be in good hands. prairiepanels.ca. I'm splitting point 3 into 2. 3A, we discussed this last hour on the Canadian Hour. Corey Mace of the Saskatchewan Roughriders was named the CFL's Coach of the Year Wednesday night at a gala in Edmonton. The 40-year-old from Port Moody, BC, led the Saskatchewan Roughriders to the Grey Cup Championship in 2025, and they introduced the Ted Gavaya Football Operations Award last night, handed it out for the first time. It also went to Saskatchewan, which if I had a vote, I would have voted for Saskatchewan. They won the damn thing. As my mom would say, what a trip. Isn't that a trick? The team that won wins all the awards. That's 3A. We'll discuss it more tomorrow on a Football Friday when Kevin the Medium comes back. 3B. This is kind of fun, and we have every other show's talking March Madness for obvious reasons. Sweet 16 begins today on the men's side. Get this one. Everybody loves the bracket stories. The only person left out of millions who entered men's and women's NCAA tournament brackets in ESPN's competition is an 8th grader from suburban Pittsburgh. His name is Otto Schellhammer. And you can bet the 14-year-old is enjoying his one shining moment. He is 48-0 through the first weekend of the women's tournament, and he'll try to push it to 56-0 when the Sweet 16 takes place Friday and Saturday. The record for ESPN's competition is 57-0. That's what you got to get. The exact odds of a perfect bracket are steep. Most mathematicians put the number at around 1 in 28 billion. Jeff, the Stamps fan, says he probably used AI. Probably didn't, because I used AI and I was in the ditch first day. That's with a B. 1 in 28 billion. I was with some big money guys and gal on the weekend. How do I know they were big money guys? They were using these terms: 28B, 17M. What's that mean? Oh, billion. Oh. Meanwhile, Florida isn't around to defend its title anymore, but all the other top seeds in this year's NCAA tournament are still around, and many of them are winning convincingly. The first 2 rounds of March Madness were decided by an average of 15.3 points. That represents the 3rd highest average margin of victory through the round of 32 since 1985. The only NCAA tournaments with higher average victory margins since then came in 1993 and 2024. So I don't know. Everybody else, like I say, everybody else is talking March Madness. We don't need to talk March Madness, but it's also going on, and I need to keep an eye on it and see how Otto Shellhammer does throughout the weekend. Rickie Ricardo coming up, New York Yankees broadcaster, as they get ready for more of this series at San Francisco. Our picks from the National Hockey League are brought to you by Pump Jack's Steakhouse and Saloon, Pump Jack's Cathedral, Pump Jack's Weyburn. Come early, stay late at the place where friends meet. Why not dip into the NBA? A lopsided loss for the Raptors. Kawhi Leonard put up 27 points, and Darius Garland pouring in another 23 as the LA Clippers cruised to a 119-94 victory over Toronto Wednesday night. Meanwhile, the Oklahoma City Thunder's 12-game win streaks come to an end. Jaylen Brown put up 31 points, and the Boston Celtics rallied to down the defending champions 119-109. Our poll question today has to do with the NBA. Believe it or not, it might be the first NBA poll question we've ever had. It's brought to you by EMJ Marketing Elite Speakers Bureau. What should the Las Vegas NBA expansion team be called? And we all love the name the team contests, don't we? I know I do. Apparently you do too. We've had, I want to say, 15 to 20 suggestions come in. And of those, I whittled it down to 3. The Las Vegas Secrets, which I think you could fill in the blanks. 2, the Las Vegas Vultures. 3, the Las Vegas Lights. Sorry, I blanked on that for a sec. Or Other. And right now, leading the poll is Other. Not everybody's digging these names. We also need to get up to speed on the Vegas sports scene. David, number 2 in Winnipeg, writes in, he says, the Vegas Desert Dogs. They have that in the National Lacrosse League. But I'm not surprised you don't know, because Winnipeg doesn't have a team, and maybe you're not following the National Lacrosse League. So pick another one. 902-518-3033. That's the text line, brought to you by our friends at Western Dodge. We'll be back in a moment. The program, by the way, is brought to you in part by Vegas.com. Explore this week's most popular picks, or jump straight to 3-star, 4-star, or 5-star options to match your style and budget. Whether you're planning a weekend escape or a luxury stay, your ideal Vegas hotel is just a click away at Vegas.com. We'll be right back on Silver State Sports and Game Plus TV with Rickie Ricardo.
Hiring a video company shouldn't be complicated. Click, pay, done. Skycron.com/Regina.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
Sports fans, daytime sports talk gets a whole lot better weekdays at noon Eastern with the Rod Pedersen Show. Talking sports daily with A-list guests, and the best part is, you can always join the discussion as we're the most interactive talk show on television. Broadcasting from coast to coast from the biggest events like Super Bowl, Stanley Cup Final, Grey Cup, and more, there's nothing like it in the game today. The Rod Pedersen Show, daily at noon Eastern and 10 p.m. Pacific on Game Plus Network.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
You have a vision, a big idea. But how do you turn ambition into absolute impact? It starts with connection. Booking top-tier speakers and executing seamless events. That's the EMJ difference.
We position your brand where it belongs, through powerful advertising, strategic media, and promotion that drives results. At EMJ Marketing, we don't just promote, we partner. Your growth, our mission.
This is a test pattern. This is what happens when your video company screws up. You don't want your clients to see a screw-up. Hire a company that only does video, so it won't screw up. Then, people who give you money will see less of these and more of you. Skycron.com/live. Hiring a video company shouldn't be complicated. Click, pay, done. Skycron.com/Regina.
Your teams, the biggest stories. Join Mike Davis and Mariah Janos live at 2 p.m. daily here on Silver State Sports as they tackle the biggest stories in Vegas sports. And we are now joined by DraftKings baseball analyst Rickie Ricardo. Check out DraftKings Sportsbook all MLB season. Now also available in Spanish. New York Yankees Spanish broadcaster. Rickie, welcome to the RP Show. How you doing, brother?
Rod, how are you? It's a pleasure to be with you.
It's a pleasure to have you. Nice pipes, my man. Yankees off to a hell of a start. Off to a great pace. 1-0 after a 7-0 victory at San Fran last night. Your thoughts on that opener for the Pinstripes?
I thought Max Fried was fabulous last night. Had a little bit of control issues right out of the gate in the first inning, but got by that. And in a very pitcher-friendly ballpark, Fried was fantastic. What stood out to me is Austin Wells and his growth behind the plate. When he first came up a couple of years ago, he was considered a bat, but maybe a liability as far as pitch framing, pitch calling, and handling a pitching staff. And last night, he and Max Fried were working in tandem. It was inside, outside, up and down the four quadrants of the plate. They had the Giants line up completely off balance. And to see that kind of growth and experience coming off a World Baseball Classic where he did very, very well with the Dominican team. Yes, a guy named Austin Wells is Dominican by his mom. But to watch that combination last night, the battery of the Yankees, fantastic. And then Trent Grisham, the question mark, big question mark this year is, did the Yankees do the right thing making the qualifying offer to Trent Grisham and allowing him to come back at $22 million and in essence blocking the path to the major leagues to Jason Dominguez and Spencer Jones, two of their biggest prospects in the organization, because with Bellinger and Judge in the corners, there's no room at the end for either Dominguez or for Jones. But at least last night, Trent Grisham, big-time triple in that 5-run rally, great defense, healthy again. So at least for one game, the plan worked to perfection.
Well, no kidding. And I'll tell you what, so I watched it on Netflix, but talking to you makes me want to tune you in. Yankees Spanish broadcaster Rickie Ricardo with us, but I'm sitting there with watching Aaron Judge, and struck out first 2 plate appearances and then 3 plate appearances. Ended up 4 strikeouts for Aaron Judge. And I'm sitting there going, they got this big lead, and Aaron Judge is hitless. That's actually kind of a good sign. Not for him, but for the team it is.
Well, he's usually a slow starter in the month of April, and at the same time, he has really got a lot of weight on his shoulders. He has been booed when he got back from the WBC in Tampa at spring training. He's starting to develop a little bit of a reputation of not being a clutch guy or a guy that comes through in big moments. That's creeping in slowly. I'd like to cut that off at the pass and watch him have a strong April. Maybe win a game in the bottom of the ninth, have something happen to make the fans forget that, hey, he didn't do well in the World Series against the Dodgers. Hey, the big strikeout against the Blue Jays in the series last year in a key situation in Game 2, and then, really didn't do much to bring the team back against Toronto. And then having a weak World Baseball Classic. It's what have you done for me lately, obviously, with baseball fans. And lately, Aaron Judge hasn't really done much. Now, we know who he is. He's probably, with Ohtani, one of the two best players in all of Major League Baseball. And as time goes on, it could be tomorrow afternoon's game. We're off today. It could be next week in Seattle. At some point, he's going to do something to make us all forget about the 4 strikeouts, to make us all forget about the drop fly ball in the World Series against the Dodgers, and make us forget about the fact that he didn't do much in the World Baseball Classic. He's that good.
Of course. And listen, I'm a career, lifetime Blue Jays fan, Canadian. We're airing in Vegas, but also anchored on Game Plus television in Toronto. Big Blue Jays fans there. It's kind of nice to see the other side of it. And before we get to the Jays-Yankees rivalry, you've referenced the World Baseball Classic a couple of times. I live 40 miles north of Miami. This town was on fire through the whole thing. When you sit back and think of other, well, what did you think of it? You saw it, you felt it. It was great.
Yep.
Why would they consider moving this from spring training to midseason?
I don't know. Those logistics have a lot to do, I guess, with off-season workouts and the way guys get or don't get into shape, getting into camp. I thought the Marlins Park, the Lone Depot Park, had an energy that I have never seen before. I've been there for many a Yankee Marlin game. I also live about 40 miles north of Miami, too. I'm in Pembroke Pines. So I'm not far from you. So I get down there a lot. Okay, you're in. I'll take you to dinner at Benny's on the beach one of these days.
Perfect.
Over on Lake Worth Pier. But having said that, the energy, the enthusiasm, everything that we saw during this World Baseball Classic, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. It's only getting better and better and better. And with the Latino country teams, Dominican, Venezuela, Puerto Rico, with these teams being as competitive with Japan and the United States, and obviously Venezuela now winning the whole thing, I think Miami and that edifice is the perfect place to wrap up this tournament. And especially if you're going to have it in March, it's cold everywhere else, for Pete's sake, Rod. It's perfect in South Florida, and it turned out magnificently.
Well, and listen, I tuned it in because I'm a baseball fan too, but I was cheering for Canada. We bit the dust in the quarterfinals against USA. But looking at the Venezuelan fans in the crowd, how could you not be happy for? Maybe if you weren't outright cheering for them, you had to be happy for them, the players and the fans.
Absolutely. And the Italian team doing what they did, coming out of nowhere, it gives people hope in other places where baseball might just be catching up to the Caribbean, to the United States, to Japan. Now those Italian fans, it's not all soccer. They were on national TV, and a great job done there by Francisco Cervelli with a tremendous coaching staff. So I think the World Baseball Classic is succeeding at what it was intended to do, which was bring baseball to the masses around the globe. And I compare this. I did this the other day on a WFAN show where I'm a host in New York. The World Baseball Classic eventually, and may not be in your and my lifetime, but the word world, not in the Super Bowl, that's Super Bowl champion. In the NBA, it's NBA champion. Hockey, it's obviously a Stanley Cup champion. The only tournament that considers itself a world championship is baseball. The true world champion will eventually come from the WBC, and this might be an MLB championship, but the use of the word world eventually, I think, comes out of this tournament.
Oh, I love it. If anybody's not paying attention, I would hope that they will be paying attention. But it's been around for 20 years. People act like they still don't really know what it is. People outside baseball. But anyways, so to this AL East, because again, We're airing in Toronto, one game plus, well, Canada-wide, but anchored in Toronto. I'm pretty sure the Blue Jays fans would say the Yankees are their top rivalry. Who are the Yankees saying is their top rivalry? Still Boston?
Oh, right now. It's Toronto right now. Absolutely.
Yeah, I would
I
think
mean,
so. Of course.
the season series last year, Vladimir Guerrero owns the Yankees at Yankee Stadium. The postseason, right now, the Blue Jays are the team that the Yankees couldn't get past, either in regular season or postseason last year. The Red Sox, that's the traditional rival. And it remains to be seen if the moves they made this offseason make them that much better. Can they compete with New York and Toronto? Now, Rod, I'll tell you something. I was just before I came on, I was watching the player introductions for the New York Mets. And it was the strangest thing for me to have Howie Rose call Bo Bichette's name and not be a member of the Toronto Blue Jays. It just doesn't compute with me that Bo Bichette is not a Toronto Blue Jay. I am interested to see in how the lack of Bo Bichette, who was was one of the ribs, along with Vladimir Guerrero and a couple of others, the Alejandro Kirks, the core of that team. Over the course of 162 games, how will Bo Bichette's absence affect this team? They had some good veteran pitching, like got Scherzer back, but Chris that signed with the Orioles, they've moved on from some of the veteran pitching. Berrios is starting the season on the IL, so it's a little bit of a different Toronto Blue Jay team. Who knows about the Japanese third baseman over the course of 162 games? So it remains to be seen if they're going to be, step by step with the Yankees. It was the fact that they beat the Yankees in the season series that was the tiebreaker. That put that series in control at the Rogers Center, and we all know what happened after that.
Oh, yeah. Well, it was in the regular season, first ever sweep of the Yankees in Rogers Center ever. Remember that midweek 4 games? Actually, that's when I think Michael Kay and Jamie Campbell got into it. Jamie Campbell, close friend of mine, the host of Toronto Blue Jays broadcast. When Michael Kay said the Jays are their first place team, I would think somewhere along the line you had to have been eating those words. I don't know Michael Kay if he's that kind of guy to walk that back, but the Jays, they got hot.
Yeah, well, my good buddy Buck Martinez, when I saw him in the postseason, and Buck basically made a prediction saying, or to the effect that the Blue Jays were as good or better than the New York Yankees, and he turned out to be right. No argument.
Yeah, well, so they are a different Blue Jays team coming back. I will say this, their entire infield was in the World Baseball Classic, various countries, of course. I mean, they got a chance. The one thing that I talked with Jamie Campbell about, and I would like to talk with you, Ricky, about, and by the way, folks that just tuned in, Rickie Ricardo is with us, Spanish language broadcaster for the Yankees. New York has the expectation of winning every game and winning the World Series every year. And that's not the expectation in Toronto. I think they'd like to get there, but they're not. But that's pressure. That's pressure. Does that affect Aaron Judge with what you were talking about earlier?
That particular notion has been around forever. That didn't start with the Aaron Judge era. What might be affecting a player, and I don't think so much Judge, because he's a very centered, focused guy. Now, fresh coming off of the WBC, he may be experiencing a little anxiety off of that. And like I mentioned, he's usually a slow starter. But let's remember that the previous Yankee signature superstars have all come through from the back of their baseball card, the reputation and their numbers. They've delivered championships. The Bernie Williams of the world, the Derek Jeters of the world. Aaron Judge
the Joe
right
Girardis.
Now is the Joe Torres of the world, and Aaron Boone has that monkey on his shoulder. That Torre won championships. Girardi won himself a championship. In the line of Yankee managers of the last 30 years, he's the only one that hasn't won a championship, and this is year 9 for Aaron Boone. But that pressure is always there, from one group to the next, from decade to decade, generation to generation. With the Yankees, it's World Series or bust. So I'm not sure if that notion itself is really that much extra pressure. Now, with the Blue Jays, I felt it was interesting to see Toronto get a taste of winning again, and winning big time, because the last time I was in that building prior to me getting the Yankee job, I was doing the Philadelphia Phillies, and the last time I saw the Blue Jays celebrate was Joe Carter, touch 'em all, Joe, okay? So that joy, that energy, that's something that Toronto and that region and those baseball fans, they got a taste of it again. And I am convinced, Rod, I don't know about you, But I am convinced, I'll go to my grave, that Carlos Febles should have had Isaiah Kiner-Falefa go down the line a little bit further, just a couple of steps. That when he would have been safe at home plate, and the Blue Jays would have themselves a World Series championship. I'm convinced of that. But I think getting a taste of winning the way they did last year will spur the Rogers people to spend some more, management to be more aggressive, and for the expectation level to grow in Toronto.
Yeah. Well, it's funny. I think we're all trying to put that behind us from last year. Number two, I mean, they could have paid Bo, but they didn't want to, which is, and it's funny because we have a lot of Blue Jays fans. Yeah, well, a lot of Blue Jays fans watched this show, and when Bo signed with the Mets, it was a Friday. They all said, we'll be over it by supper time. Bo was not as loved as Vladdy, but it's funny because they were like, pay that guy. He's the heartbeat. And they did.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, they got the job done with Vladimir. He's a very happy camper. I was able to talk to him on a couple of occasions during the World Baseball Classic. He's the anchor of that organization. I think the minor league system is producing players at a rate maybe we hadn't seen in a little while with the Blue Jays. So they've got a good nucleus. They've got a good working front office right now. And obviously, you could tell me if I'm wrong, they've got very good ownership that's not afraid to spend some money and be aggressive. So the arrow is pointing up for the Blue Jays franchise. So the Yankees and Jays throw in a little, Orioles get hot a little bit this year. Red Sox stick their nose in it. And the Tampa Bay Rays, don't ever count them out. So to me, the American League East is the best division in baseball. It's got 5 teams, including the defending AL champions, 5 teams that could go from top to bottom.
We got about 4 minutes, 2 questions. We're airing in Vegas on the Silver State Sports Network. They're getting the Athletics, as you know. By the time they get there, what kind of team they're going to be, do you think, Ricky?
Piece by piece, they're getting there. I think they've got some very exciting young players. Obviously, at first base, Nick Kurtz, the shortstop. Wilson, they've got some talent in the minor leagues when you look at what's coming up, especially some young pitching. They're not going to be the doormats that they were in Oakland for that final couple of years in that dump. That place was just so outdated, that Coliseum. But they're in a holding pattern right now, you could basically say, in Sacramento. The organization is getting better. It's baby steps, obviously, but they'll field a competitive team when they get to Vegas, and that's a town that's going to welcome that franchise, that organization with a lot of energy, vibrant. By the time they open the doors and let folks in to watch the Las Vegas Athletics, I think they'll be fielding a very, very competitive team in that division. Seattle, Houston, the Angels, they'll be able to compete because they always have. The A's have always found a way to, just when you think they're down out and they're done, they come back. And it's been a very resilient organization for many, many years. But the Vegas version of the A's, I think, will be very exciting because they've got some very good young core players that are coming through the system.
And we've got about 90 seconds left. Tell us about your association with DraftKings, Ricky.
Let me tell you something. DraftKings, right now, they are the leaders. They now have the DraftKings app to be able to place a bet in Spanish. You know, you're in South Florida, Rod. Latinos love to place a bet. They love to wager. They're very passionate about their sports. Obviously, baseball is king with Latinos. Here comes the World Cup this summer. So DraftKings is the place to get your action. It's all in Spanish. Obviously, do it responsibly. But I salute DraftKings. I am very proud to tell people about the fact that DraftKings now has their app in Espanol, because that is a segment of the population that loves sports, loves to wager, boxing, MMA, UFC. Everything that's on the DraftKings app is now available in Spanish, and our communities love to make it a little bit spicy and have a little bit of fun. They do it responsibly, as we urge everyone to do. But DraftKings, download the app, and now in English or in Spanish, you'll be able to enhance your enjoyment of baseball, the NBA playoffs, the World Cup, right into the National Football League season, and you can do it in your own language.
All right, just got a word. We got a couple of extra minutes, so I should tell you. So you're doing the Yankees. Are you still doing the Eagles?
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
All right. How they going to be? They're always good. How they going to be this year?
Well, there's a guy that wears number 11 that plays wide receiver that has everything in kind of a holding pattern here, and that's one A.J. Brown. What's going to happen with A.J. Brown, I think, will dictate some of the other moves that might happen between training camp and that June 1st deadline. Now, I see that they've signed Elijah Moore, they've signed Hollywood Brown, so it's almost like they have a contingency plan here to fill in at wide receiver, and maybe that agreement is in silence with some other team that they're going to move A.J. Brown after June 1st. He is one of the more talented receivers in the game. I've enjoyed calling A.J. Brown, but at the same time, it's been frustrating. I also host on WIP in Philadelphia along with WFAN, so I get a real feel of the Philadelphia Eagle fan and frustration. And right now, there are Eagle fans that are volunteering to drive A.J. Brown to the airport, Rod, to be honest with you. But this is a team who has a tremendous general manager in Howie Roseman, a fantastic owner in Jeffrey Lurie. They are not afraid to be aggressive, to spend the money, to make the moves, and this has been one of the more relevant franchises in the National Football League since Andy Reid arrived in the early 2000s. So I'm looking forward to seeing what happens with Brown, because that's going to dictate what direction the Eagles take in 2026.
And as you say, what have you done for me lately? Thank you, Ricky. Enjoy your day. Oh, he's gone. Thank you, Rickie Ricardo, Yankees Spanish language broadcaster. Great job presented by DraftKings. We'll be right back on Silver State Sports and the Game Plus.
You have a vision, a big idea. But how do you turn ambition into absolute impact? It starts with connection. Booking top-tier speakers and executing seamless events. That's the EMJ difference.
We position your brand where it belongs, Guy, through powerful advertising, strategic media, and promotion that drives results. At EMJ Marketing, we don't just promote, we partner. Your growth, our mission.
This is a test pattern. This is what happens when your video company screws up. You don't want your clients to see a screw-up. Hire a company that only does video, so it won't screw up. Then, people who give you money will see less of these and more of you. Skycron.com/live.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest-growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
Sports fans, daytime sports talk gets a whole lot better weekdays at noon Eastern with The Rod Pedersen Show. Talking sports daily with A-list guests, and the best part is, you can always join the discussion as we're the most interactive talk show on television. Broadcasting from coast to coast from the biggest events like Super Bowl, Stanley Cup Final, Grey Cup, and more. There's nothing like it in the game today. The Rod Pedersen Show, daily at noon Eastern and 10 p.m. Pacific on Game Plus Network.
This is a test pattern. This is what happens when your video company screws up. You don't want your clients to see a screw-up. Hire a company that only does video, so it won't screw up. Then, people who give you money will see less of these and more of you. Skycron.com/live.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest-growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
Hiring a video company shouldn't be complicated. Click, pay, done. Skycron.com/Regina.
All right, welcome back, everybody, as the RP show rolls on, brought to you in part by Suds Full Service Car Wash. Fuel your fleet's finesse with Suds Regina's unbeatable cleaning packages. They'll shine like new every time. Visit sudsregina.com. They also present you the Rod Squad newsletter. It drops every Sunday. Go to rodpeterson.com, click on newsletter, and sign up for free today. We haven't got to our NHL picks for the day yet, but we will. Before we go off the air today, I just want to mention that Rickie Ricardo's appearance brought to you by DraftKings. Check out DraftKings Sportsbook. All MLB season now also available in Spanish. Before I get to the sports update, Kirk in Toronto writes in. He says, "Hey, Rod, I know you don't, but I miss the days when the show was interrupted by Lawn Boy." I don't know what to say about that, Kirk. Life goes on. David, number 2, and there's a reason why your windshield is this big and your rearview mirror is this big. I don't spend any time thinking about Lawn Boy. I don't think you should either, but I'm not going to tell you what to think about. Poll question today is, what should the Vegas NBA team be called? David, number 2, writes in. He says, the Vegas Bouncers. LOL. That's actually, when you think about it, not as crazy as you intended it to be. Sports update for Ultimate Fan Zone. The Timberwolves completed an unprecedented comeback on Wednesday night in Minneapolis, erasing a 13-point deficit in overtime to stun the Rockets and maintain their slight edge over them in the standings. Meanwhile, from the NFL, the tush push will not be discussed at next week's NFL owners' meetings, meaning it will live to see at least one more season. The controversial play has drawn plenty of criticism and multiple attempts to ban it in recent years. See, I read that from the yahoo.com newsletter and go, why do you keep bringing it up? They keep voting it down. They talk about it every year, and every year they vote to keep it. Back to the NBA for a second. As we mentioned, the NBA's Board of Governors voted in favor of exploring expansion opportunities in Las Vegas and Seattle, though Commissioner Adam Silver did acknowledge that there are some owners who don't see a need to expand to 32 teams. Well, that's why they have a vote. It is funny, not funny, curious. When a lot of us first started going to Las Vegas, there really was no sports other than college sports and minor pro hockey. And now you got your NFL, you got your NHL, MLB is coming, soon to be NBA. And the viewers have written in with potential NBA team names for Las Vegas, and they're like, how about the Desert Dogs? Well, there is that. What about the Aces? Somebody said the other. There's that. NLL, pro women's basketball. Indoor football, the Nighthawks. It's become a sports mecca. It's a good place for guys like me. 902-518-3033 is the text line for Western Dodge. I'm still very excited, as I said earlier, about going to 90s night tonight. Any of you Las Vegas viewers, what do your teams do? It's 90s night here in Las Vegas, in Sunrise, where all 19,500 fans are going to receive this free pennant courtesy of the Florida Panthers. And I think I've been around here long enough. The Panthers staff know how I think. And I wasn't going to see them again until tonight. So they're handing these out, and they're like, we'd like to see some 90s, fun 90s content. So from my personal channels, I posted a photo of myself in the broadcast booth from the 90s. So many of the media weren't even born then. And they certainly don't have any memories. It was a great time, though. Oh, David, number 2, same guy from Winnipeg, writes in. He says, Rickie hit it out of the park. It took me about 2 seconds to go, this guy's a broadcaster. And I feel like you all had the same vibe. Am I right? He does the Yankees on Spanish language radio. He does the Eagles, Philadelphia Eagles on Spanish language radio. Talk shows in New York and Philadelphia. You could just sit and listen to that guy all day. Couldn't you? And he lives here. I haven't quite figured that one out yet. Tony from Cochrane writes, and he says, the 90s were stress for me. Back to school in my 30s, 3 young boys, yada, yada. But the Blue Jays won 2 championships. The Bulls won 6, and Rod's Cowboys won. Mullets and country music in, and disco died. What a time to be alive. The 90s. Thank you, Tony, for adding. Everybody, what do you think of when you think of the 90s? I got all good memories myself. We'll be coming right back with Overtime after this here on Silver State Sports and Game Plus Television.
This is a test pattern. This is what happens when your video company screws up. You don't want your clients to see a screw-up. Hire a company that only does video, so it won't screw up. Then, people who give you money will see less of these and more of you. Skycron.com/live.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world! Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest-growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
Sports fans, daytime sports talk gets a whole lot better weekdays at noon Eastern with The Rod Pedersen Show. Talking sports daily with A-list guests, and the best part is, you can always join the discussion as we're the most interactive talk show on television. Broadcasting from coast to coast from the biggest events like Super Bowl, Stanley Cup Final, Grey Cup, and more, there's nothing like it in the game today. The Rod Pedersen Show, daily at noon Eastern and 10 p.m. Pacific on Game Plus Network.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world! Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest-growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
You have a vision, a big idea. But how do you turn ambition into absolute impact? It starts with connection. Booking top-tier speakers and executing seamless events. That's the EMJ difference. We position your brand where it belongs through powerful advertising, strategic media, and promotion that drives results. At EMJ Marketing, we don't just promote, we partner. Your growth, our mission.
Do you worry about how much someone drinks?
Do you feel angry or depressed most of the time? Do you feel neglected or unloved?
Do you feel that if the drinker loved you, she or he would stop drinking?
If you answered yes to any of these questions, you are not alone.
Not everyone trapped by alcohol is an alcoholic.
Families and friends are suffering too.
Al-Anon and
Alateen can help. Call 1-866-200-0223 or visit alanon.org/help.
Looking for a new ride without the big city pressure? Come to Western Dodge in Moose Jaw, where you'll find an unbeatable lineup of Ram trucks, Jeep SUVs, Dodge Muscle, and Chrysler family rides. With knowledgeable staff, great prices, and that friendly Moose Jaw touch, you'll drive away with confidence. Western Dodge, big selection, small town service. Visit us today or browse online at westerndodge.ca. All right, welcome back, everybody, for Overtime. Proudly brought to you by our friends at Overtime Hockey Lanes in Calgary. Another home game day for the Flames as we look at our picks and the NHL. We do it every day for Pump Jack's Steakhouse and Saloon, Pump Jack's Weyburn, Pump Jack's Cathedral. If you're looking for lunch plans, supper plans, that's a place to go. Have the coconut shrimp and thank me later. We put a bow on the show every day. I should mention it in this segment. And it's always brought to you by our longtime friends at Overtime Hockey Lanes in Calgary. They're our longest running sponsor. And it's because it works, because you people go stop in there and check them out every day. 28th Street Northeast, Calgary, where skill and fun collide. putting a bow on things. Kirk in Toronto was watching on Game Plus. He said he misses Lawn Guy coming by, and a lot of people don't even know what that is. And I said, well, it's in the past. Let's move on. Kirk writes back on the Western Dodge text line, and he says, it added something to your show, along with the lizards, that no other show had. I'm aware. I know, I was there. I used to do the show outside, everybody, just so you know. And the producers at the time, it's not who we have now with Skycron, but they didn't like that I was outside in Florida braving the elements every day. Quite frankly, it was a little nerve-wracking for me too. And about once every 2 weeks, maybe once every 3 weeks, lawn guy would randomly come by behind me and zoom around and mow the lawn and scare the iguanas everywhere. It was on the air. But again, Kirk, I'll say this. Don't smile. Don't cry because it's over. Smile because it happened. It's only a few blocks from here, actually. There's a nice couple from the Ukraine living in that house. We move on. NHL picks tonight. What'd I say? 13 games tonight. We gotta pick it up. Chicago at Philadelphia tonight for Pump Jack Steakhouse and Saloon. Both teams are basically out of it. I'll take Philadelphia to win tonight at home. Dallas at the New York Islanders. I think the Stars are just too tough. They're rolling. Seattle at Tampa Bay. Lightning missing Victor Hedman. Kraken lost here the other night. It's going to be the Bolts will win at home. They generally do. Minnesota at Florida here tonight. I think the Wild are going to win it. Sorry, Cats fans. Columbus at Montreal. Montreal's beating everybody. That's a playoff preview, potentially. No, it's not. That was if in the 1 versus 16 alignment. Never mind. Still going to be a good game. Pittsburgh at Ottawa. Feel like I got to go with the Senators. They're on a roll. Back home after a successful roadie. San Jose at St. Louis. Sharks need it more than the Blues. Sharks will win tonight. New Jersey at Nashville. Predators need it more. Who saw this coming from the Predators? I feel like Barry Trotz is going to walk back his decision to step down as GM. Colorado at Winnipeg. Every sign points to the Avalanche winning, so I'll take the Jets. Washington at Utah. That's a simple one. The Mammoth really need that one. I'm going with Utah. Ducks at Calgary. The Ducks are the top team in the Pacific Division. The Flames are just playing out the string, as you know. Don't get mad at me. Don't shoot the messenger. I'll take Anaheim to win tonight in the Saddle Dome. Game of the night. Oilers at Golden Knights. I already said it earlier today. I'll say it again. I'll take the Golden Knights to win this one. I'm not even going to think about making a playoff prediction. If the playoffs started today, last I looked, these two teams would meet. So it is a playoff preview tonight in the Fortress. I'll take Vegas to win. The clock is ticking on Vegas. Still not worried, however, and sure as hell not counting them out. And the Los Angeles Kings at the Vancouver Canucks tonight. Everybody beats Vancouver. I'm sorry. Again, don't blame me. I got to go with the Kings in this one because they're still in the playoff hunt. Arlen Bruce checking in. Hey, AB. Former Kansas City Chief receiver. Two-time Grey Cup champion, writes in. He says, great day, RP. Could you imagine the people saying, here come the vultures? Sounds intimidating. Much respect. Same to you, AB. We're talking about the Las Vegas expansion NBA team and what the team name should be. It is a lot of fun coming up with these things. And you know what's going to be next? They say the NHL's got to be going into Atlanta, don't they? That's what everybody's saying. The New Orleans was a new one. That popped up the other day. I can't see them going to New Orleans, but who the hell knows? I'm sure when they said they were going to go to Sunrise and they were going to go to, Phoenix even back in the day, people thought they were nuts. Nashville? What? So, New Orleans for the NHL? Why not? Anyways, the ideas here, the poll question were the Las Vegas secrets. As tantalizing as that sounds, I think they want to stay away from anything that sounds even remotely shady. Las Vegas vultures? You want to talk about wildlife indigenous to the area? They're not going to be called the Coyotes. It'll be something cool. I'm a fan of the names like The Wave. or the Heat, or the Rush, or that's like the cool thing. That's what I would be doing. I've long said if I could have an expansion team in any league, it would be the National Lacrosse League, and I would put it here in South Florida and call us the Florida Wave. And as it turns out, we may be getting, I can't say anymore. Can't say anymore. Spoiler alert. Just to tee you up for tomorrow, the Moose will be here, but not until hour 2, because I got a jet to the airport tomorrow, flying to New York for the weekend and a couple of Panthers games. But it will be Kevin the Medium and I. We're going to go deep on football in hour 1. So we'll talk about the awards that were handed out from the Canadian Football League Wednesday night in Edmonton, the combines this weekend, whatever NFL things come up. That'll be hour 1. And Mike Davis will be with us in hour 2 with Moose hosting. Yeah, Utah. Darren writes in, he says, hey, the NHL came to Utah, so New Orleans is not surprising. Right? Jeff, the Stamps fan, says, the Florida Citrus Squeeze. You're having fun with the names. We have fun with the names too, but I got Florida handled with the Wave. Big thank you to Kevin the Medium. Thank you to Rickie Ricardo from Yankees Spanish Radio. And of course, you, everybody, will do it all again tomorrow here on Silver State Sports and Game Plus TV.
Good.